is the thing that everyone thinks about, which is, oh man, what am I going to wear? So So a lot of times when people are choosing their outfit, they're looking to see what do they look good in real life. And it's important that it look good in real life, but there's a lot of other technical elements that are involved in TV and radio and print that you really need to still be thinking about. So it's almost like there's a whole extra layer of things to think about it and make it even more complicated than just looking good and picking out a decent outfit.
Oh man, so that kind of complicates the whole thing a little bit. And well, I know for me, because I have worked with you, that's my number one freak out factor is, what the heck am I going to wear, and is it going to look good?
Right. Yeah, and
so
we as viewers really recognize when it doesn't work, right? So it's the thing that when we go on TV as the expert, we're really sensitive to.
Exactly. Can you give us a couple tips in that arena, like just a couple things to watch out for?
Yeah, sure. So the first is the microphone that you wear when you're on TV has a battery pack, and that battery pack has to fit somewhere. So typically it's going to fit on your waistband. So whatever you wear, whatever shirt or jacket you wear, needs to have enough room in it to accommodate that battery pack so it doesn't look like it's pulling and tugging in the front.
Oh, So if you're wearing some kind of form-fitting dress or something, there's no place for that battery pack.
Yeah, and a dress is particularly complicated because if it doesn't have a belt, where are you going to put that battery pack? You have to, if you're a woman, right, if you have a dress on, you're probably a woman, you have to stick the battery pack on your bra strap or on your underwear. And if your underwear isn't, some seriously strong underwear, then the battery pack is going to pull them down. And that's just not what you want to be thinking about 30 seconds to air, is that you're losing your underwear.
Exactly. Yep. Awesome. That's a great tip. So wear clothes that can deal with the technology of the show.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's another tip?
So necklaces and jacket. A man that has a jacket on that has a collar that's kind of loose can rub against the microphone, and so then the microphone will hear the rubbing on the cloth or the clanging of the necklace instead of what the expert has to say. That could be a real problem.
Yeah, and I've actually heard that on TV before, and that's extremely distracting. But the guest doesn't know what's happening. They can't hear it, but you can hear it on the television. Yeah,
right.
That's a great tip, too. So even though you love that big clunky necklace that looks great, you got to consider if it's going to make too much noise in the microphone.
Exactly. Or even just get too close to it and rub against the microphone itself. Yeah. So
yeah.
The other thing when it comes to clothing to think about is patterns. So patterns can really work on TV. A lot of people think you have to stay away from patterns. But you have to be careful about is geometric small patterns. So houndstooth, stripes, little pin dot, polka dots, those can all be big problems because with digital TV, the equipment is trying to digitize those really fine details, and what ends up happening is it actually confuses the electronics, and all you see is this swirling where the pattern is, and that's something else that's very distracting for the viewer.
Yeah, that's a great tip, too. So figuring out what to wear on TV is not as easy as it sounds, I guess. And there's lots of factors to consider in terms of your wardrobe for going on TV. So we're up to tip number 6, but if anybody has any questions or wants to ask Sarah something specific about getting or going on TV, go ahead and put that in the chat or call us, and we'll take your questions. I think that would be fun. We had that great question earlier about everybody that you work with, so that was great. So if you've got questions, let us know. It's a time you can pick Sarah's brain, and maybe somebody's got a TV segment coming up in the next couple of weeks, and you could use her help. So go ahead and give us a call if you have questions. And so that brings us to tip number 7, Sarah. What's that?
This is one that is surprising. Lots of people think that they're going to be paid to go on TV, that the station is going to pay for their expenses, for their travel, they're going to send a limo, that they're going to get paid for their appearance. And that may have been true in the early days of television, but that's not true anymore. In fact, it can be the opposite. Sometimes shows have sponsorships where experts pay to be on TV.